here's your first step on what to do to make your first balloon cluster for your garland. You're going to take one of the large balloons and one of the medium balloons and inflate these both. Now these are overinflated, so you want to release some air and push on the top and bottom to round them out. So this is the large balloon. Even after you release air, you can still push it to make it more rounded. Here's the medium. Let out air. You can see right now it's a teardrop shape. You want to push and release air to make it round. Once you have done that and you have the size that you want, tie these two together just like you would tie two strings together. Cross the necks and tie a knot. Just like two shoelaces. Now these are together. You want to do the same process with another large and medium balloon, just as before. Here's the large. I'm going to release air, push and round. Medium, release air, push and round it out. Tie together like two shoelaces. Now you should have two of these where you have one large balloon and one medium balloon tied together. Now you take two medium balloons and do the same process. Same idea, push and round out, release air. And tie these two together. They can be the same size or they can be slightly different. It's completely up to you. And go ahead and tie these two necks together just like two shoestrings. Now you have 3 sets of 2. All you're going to do is combine these all together. So connect the 2 necks where they're tied in the middle, push them together and just twist. Now you have 4 combined balloons. Take your last set of 2, push it in the middle and twist again. Pushing it through the middle and find another balloon to just twist it around and around with. When this step is complete, I like my 2 large balloons to be next to each other and the 4 medium balloons to be together. So this is a cluster. Now the last thing you have to do is add in your mini balloons, and you can do this either now or you can do it at the very end when your entire garland is finished. So here's my 4 mini balloons, and I'm going to make 2 sets of 2. This is what they look like, freshly inflated. These are 2 teardrop and not small enough. So make sure you release air and push to round them out. And also it'll help if you compare the colors. The colors should be similar when they're small enough to be in the garland as accents. So push, release air. Push, release air. And then I like to get them pretty close to the same size, and then tie these together like 2 shoestrings. And then do your other 2 mini balloons. Again, they're 2 teardrop and they're a totally different color, so I need to release air and push. Tie these 2 together like 2 shoestrings. Now I have 2 sets of 2 mini balloons, crisscross in the middle, and then twist 2 balloons around and around, and you've made a little mini cluster. Now you have your large cluster and your mini cluster to go together. That is step number 1 in making your DIY balloon garland. Okay, here's step number 2 in how to assemble your DIY balloon garland. So you're going to take one of these that are included, these long 260, they're called 260 balloons. They're used to make balloon animals and stuff. But for this, we are going to combine our clusters that we made in step 1. I recommend sticking to 3 to 4 clusters together on one of these. So take your first cluster that you made from step 1. You're going to take an end, doesn't matter which end, and go around the middle of your cluster and tie this as close as you can to the end in a double knot. So I'm going to go around one balloon in the middle, and in the middle right now I'm making a double knot with that long balloon. So you should have a tiny tail in the middle, and then the rest of it should be longer, ready to attach your other clusters. Okay, so here's the next step. You take your next cluster that you made, because you should have made all of your balloons into clusters using the step 1. You're going to take another cluster. Now this part is not really a science, it's just see how it goes. So you're going to push the second cluster onto the first cluster and take this long stretchy balloon and you're going to wrap it around one of the balloons of the next cluster. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to stack it on top. I'm going to grab my stretchy balloon and I'm going to pick a balloon to go around a couple of times. Now it's already attached just from doing that, but if you want to, you can go around another balloon just for good measure. Now, I feel like when you push them down, there's kind of just a natural fall to get them to go together, but they are really easy to maneuver. So after you've finished, if you don't like the look of it, it's easy to twist these around, and I'll show you that in the tips and tricks. Okay, so now I have 2 clusters together, just like that. Now I'm going to do the same process with my third cluster. So I still have quite a bit of this stretchy balloon available. So I'm going to grab my third cluster. Again, you made all these from the step 1. And you're going to find a natural way for it to stack on top and pull the stretchy balloon and wrap it around one of the balloons in your third cluster. Again, I just kind of like to move it around and see which way it just falls naturally into the crevices of what's already there. And I pull and twist around 1 or 2 balloons. And I kind of want to twist it around because I don't love the way it fell. But again, it's really easy to do that. Okay. And then you can let go. And there's 3 of my clusters together. Now, you can stop here and just leave your 3 clusters together, or you can add a 4th one. For now, I'm going to just do these 3, just for the purpose of showing you the how-to. All right, so now it's kind of up to you. You can hang this wherever you're going to hang it for your event, or you can add your mini clusters. I did not add my mini clusters like I said in step 1. You can add them right then and there, or you can add them at the end. I always like to add them at the end because I like to put them in different places so they're not all lined up. So I'm going to now show you how to add. We're going to pretend this is on a wall or on a stand or something like that, and I'm going to add my mini clusters. So my first color is green. I'm going to grab my green mini cluster, and I'm going to grab a rubber band. I like to kind of stretch mine out just a little bit before I do this step. Wrap the rubber band around one balloon in the mini cluster. It's now in the middle. So now I wrap this around one of these medium balloons. You can wrap it around a large one, but it gets a little scary for me. So I just like to do the medium one. So I'm going to take my rubber band, 2 hands, stretch it big, and I just wrapped it around a medium balloon. Now you have a mini cluster within that. And I'm going to do the same thing now on this navy color. Here's my mini cluster, rubber band, give it a nice stretch, wrap it around one of the mini balloons. Let me see if I can get closer so you can see. Here's a medium balloon right here. I'm gonna grab it, take the rubber band, and just slide it over that medium balloon. And there's another little cluster within the big cluster. And my last one is that brown color. And I've got my mini rubber band, stretch it, wrap it around one of the little balloons, and find a medium balloon, grab a hold. It helps if you use the floor to kind of help you push down, and slide around the medium balloon, making sure the rubber band is now all the way down where the necks of those other balloons are so the rubber band doesn't show. Let go, and voila! You have, this is a 3-color or 3-cluster balloon garland. Again, you can go ahead and do a 4th, but I recommend to only stick to 3 or 4 together just to make it a little bit more manageable. So that is step 2 in your DIY garland kit. Step number 3 is hanging your balloon garland. So you're going to get another one of these. There are lots of different surfaces you can put these balloon garlands on. If you have some sort of stand or frame, you can tie this to that, or it could be to a window. There are suction cup hooks to a wall. If you're allowed to use tape, you can use tape, or you can use a command hook. I will show you images of all those different things at the end of this video, but the concept is basically the same. You're basically taking this, tying it to whatever it is. So if it's like a frame, or if it's a stand of some kind, you're going to tie this to the stand itself. Or if it's a wall, I'll show you the method of how to tape this to the wall. But the idea is this. I'm going to use my stepladder as an example. So if this were a frame of some kind, or a stand, or again, if it's a wall, or if it's a window, or if you have a command hook or a suction cup hook, you're going to tie this stretchy balloon to your hook, to your stand, to the wall, whatever it is. And you'll have 2 pieces coming out. Now you're going to tie the ends of those 2 pieces together to make a nice stretchy loop. And make sure it's pulled nice and tight so that knot doesn't come out. Now I have this stretchy balloon is tied to my surface, to my hanging surface, but also I have a nice big loop. So basically you're doing the same thing of how you attached your mini clusters to your bigger clusters. You're going to take this and you're going to slide it around one of your balloons. Now you're going to want to do this in more than one place, 2, possibly even 3 places of where you're hanging this. So, and again, this is a lot stretchier than a rubber band, so you can slide this around one of the large balloons. Medium balloons, I just prefer to slip this around a medium balloon. So that's all you're going to do to hang your garland. You can do them together, or if you want to make like an L shape, you'll hang one on one side and hang one on the other side. So that is step 3, and you're pretty much done at this point. You can always add some other decorations. You could add flowers or greenery, or if you have purchased other balloons in your theme, like the foil balloons in different shapes and themes, you can add those in as well with, there's a number of things to put those in with. You can do it with tape or glue dots, or you can tie it in with a rubber band. So that's basically how to do your DIY balloon garland. Here's some tips and tricks that I have for your DIY balloon garland kit. First of all, how to inflate your balloons. If you are just doing this once and you don't think you'll ever do it again, you absolutely can just use lung power. but I recommend getting an inflator. These you can get from Amazon, Hobby Lobby, and they're not that expensive. If you think that you are going to do this a lot, it's definitely worth getting this. This one is the one I use. It has two inflators, so I can inflate two balloons at the same time. These, the way that they are like this, are for the large and medium balloons. When it comes to blowing up the small balloons, the little tiny mini ones, they come with these extra attachments that all you do is put them inside of there, and you can blow up the mini ones with this as well. So that is one definite tip that I recommend to do. Second of all, I have done this and I've done it a lot, so I can do it very quickly. Make sure you allow yourself enough time that you don't get stressed. Don't think that you can do this 5 or 10 minutes before the party and it's going to be fine. Make sure you give yourself enough time so you don't get stressed. Third, these balloons are going to last, so you can even do this ahead of time. You can do it a day or two in advance. Now, weather does play a part in balloons. If you're planning to put this outside, balloons will pop outside, especially in the sun. These balloons are designer quality balloons, so they will last and they will work outside. I've even done them in direct sunlight, but there's no guarantee. So I just want to make that clear that you can absolutely put these outside, but it's best to keep them out of the sunlight. And if you're going to put them outside, make sure that you inflate them less than you would if you were putting them in an indoor arrangement. So when I showed you how to let some air out, you're going to want to let even a little bit more air out, because we know that things expand when they're hot, and balloons are no exception. They will expand in the heat. Some other tips and tricks I have are, I kind of mentioned this before, if you don't like the shape, maybe you want yours to be more like rounded, or if you want it to be completely straight. One thing is, these will move very, very easily. So all you have to do is kind of twist them around and pull them around, and you can absolutely change the shape of your garland. Let me kind of show you. So I made this now to curve a tiny bit downwards, but I can easily twist things around, and now it's more of a straight shape. If you want it curved, just keep pushing your balloons around. They are easy to maneuver and manipulate into different shapes. Please, if you have any other questions, reach out. You can reach me by email or message me on Facebook or Instagram, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Good luck and have a great party.